Today, I'm here to fulfill a request made by a backer in the very, very first days of the Era Kaiju Kickstarter. Now, I was asked by this backer what a role would look like, and I promised, I'm going to leave the backer nameless, I don't want to embarrass anyone, but I promised that I would get to it, and I explained that I need to go through character creation, I need to go through the stats, I need to go through the character sheet, the Era D10 light rule set, and then I would come to this and make sure that this was answered before the end of the campaign. Now, we've made some good progress through those various items, so I am pleased to be able to come today and answer that question finally. Now, the question is, what would the role be if a player character wants to track a hostile kaiju that fled a prior encounter? I think that's a really interesting question. So what I wanted to do was go through a few options that you might use in that situation. I think that my immediate thought goes to, this is about the potence of the kaiju's sense of smell, or perhaps, I guess, tracking abilities, which might mean it's something else. I'm going to start with sense of smell and make the assumption that it's a sense of smell related thing, in which case I reckon might is one of the two stats that you use, because you combine any two attributes that you prefer. Then it depends a little more on the scenario. Let's say that the player character had taken some damage during that particular encounter and is now bleeding and struggling. So maybe it's health and might. Or maybe they're expecting that this particular kaiju has the camouflage ability. So they're being very careful in the way that they're tracking the opposing kaiju. So that would make it might and reaction, perhaps. There might be, for example, not much of a trail, nothing really to follow. So might and luck, or even double luck, perhaps, in a scenario where maybe there's not much to go on. There are potentially some ways of using your kaiju power. Let's say that this particular thing is a fire creating kaiju, and so are you. That might mean that you can use might and power, perhaps, in order to track them down, or perhaps power and reaction, because you're obviously perceiving what it is that's going on and then reacting to it, and you're able to do that better with your power than perhaps another kaiju would be able to. So they might be on luck and reaction on a higher threshold, while you're on kaiju power and reaction on, say, a 7, in order to track down this hostile kaiju that fled your previous encounter. So the point is, there are a lot of options. I've covered almost everything there. I think the only stat that I haven't thrown out really is willpower. I can see an application for willpower. Perhaps you're tracking them a long way through various terrain, you feel like you've lost the trail multiple times. That would be a good reason to use willpower, along with perhaps your might, once again. So there are loads and loads of options that you can have. There are 6 stats, and you can combine any 2 of them, or indeed double one of them if you feel that's more appropriate. But I hope that sheds a little bit of insight into what you would do in the situation that a player character wants to track down a hostile kaiju that fled a prior encounter. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you so much, and to the backer who asked this question, I hope that you find the answer satisfactory. Thank you for your patience. Bye.